11.
Alright, so the market review for this week is so if we were to short anything, I would be looking at the QQQs for this rejection of this 296.82 area. If I were to short it, because the RSIs ran pretty high, and if it was an area to reject, this would be it. But I think it might go more bullish, so we'll watch for the break of 297 to be more bullish. If that happens, then it could run to the next level of 302, which is another $5. Almost the same thing applied to SPY here. Same concept. The XOF is a little different. It's actually tricky. But the dollar index is the only thing that I'm really worried about. Looking at the dollar index, it looks like it's dropping further. It could drop further. And following this trend line, the next level would be to like 91.50-ish. So that would be the area for the top. So if it hit 91.50, that means the market will reverse back downwards and the dollar will go up. So if dollar goes up, market's gonna go down. So based on the dollar index, it's looking like the market could run even further than the previous top. Based on the lower low here. So we'll see how that goes. But it's really tricky to be carrying positions over the weekend. We shouldn't really be carrying positions. And then just going over some other charts. On SPY, like for the bearish side, if people are bearish, there is a slight gap here between 338 to 339.6 area. So that usually gaps eventually get filled. It's a matter of time. Sometimes it could take a month, sometimes it could take a week, sometimes it could be like in a few days. Just like these gaps here, these runaway gaps here, these small runaway gaps here. So those gaps started in October 8, and they eventually got filled bigly over here on October 19th. So that was 2 weeks away. So if you guys were to short the market, you could technically take a short position here for maybe a month out to like December 6th, or December 4th or December 11th, because this could be a good area of a reversal, because this is a doji. That means it was undecided. The market couldn't figure out whether it should go up or down, and it also closed lower than yesterday's, which usually signals the reversal. So that's something interesting to watch on that. Or it could just be a big fake out there. The other interesting thing is that the buying volume got significantly lower today because people were shook, right? So you see a lot of buying volume on Monday, Tuesday, very significant on Wednesday, and Thursday we started to lower it, and today barely any volume because obviously it's Friday, so that's why it got much lower. I should probably hide that other thing. So that's something interesting to watch, and then we'll go through some of the stocks. So usually you always want to see some stocks that affect the market. So some of the big stocks that affect the markets are like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. They're also going to always be a good deciding factor in what the market's going to do. Because if these stocks drop a lot, the market's going to drop a lot. So let's look at Facebook. Had some huge buying pressure the other day and kind of slowed down also. Facebook's double top is around 303. There's no real resistance in this area for them. So on the Stoch, it looks like they could run up a little bit further. Let's look at the half day. Half day is looking a little weak. We could pull back a little bit and then run back up. Apple's the same thing, except that on the background, our background just turned green, which means it just went bullish. So as long as it holds this 115 line, Apple's going to continue to be more bullish, and we'll probably hit the next resistance around 125. So that's something to be bullish on. So we could see Apple pull back a little bit to maybe 115 area. Like I said, as long as we hold the 115 area and continue to grind back up. Amazon too, same thing. Netflix is probably the lagger. It's been a little bit slow behind. Probably good opportunity to take a position here to maybe 550s, because it's still got a lot of room left on the stock, and the momentum is still there. Google had a huge beat on the ER, so it just kind of ran and just forgot about everything else. But Google's always been a weird anomaly. Always does his own thing. Let's see. Yeah, so looking at all these big stocks, I think the best one is probably Netflix to play. I like that as an interesting play, because it got some extra room left, and looking for it to hit that 550 area. And then so we also heard one of the guys here said that we could have Apple event next week, and that could run up further too. So Apple usually is like sell the event, so it'll usually run up, and then once the event hits, it'll probably sell off. So if that works out to be true, we'll probably hit that 125 area really easily. Let's look at some other stuff. Bitcoin's been pretty crazy. It drew this big resistance to this big pop in June of 2019, and just kind of this big pop just kind of faked everybody out and just kind of dropped from here. So we just kind of gapped over it. We kind of like jumped over that big pop. So next resistance line is this all-time high line back to like December of 2017, when everybody was going crazy. When it was almost like $20,000, and people were saying, "Oh, $20,000 is nothing. It's gonna hit $100,000." Pretty wild. So this is pretty interesting to watch. Could see a buying opportunity in Bitcoin if it pulls back to like 14,000. It's at 1550 right now, and maybe if it pulls back to 14,000, you could buy it and see if it runs up to 20. But there's other stocks to play in addition to Bitcoin. I did see some buying opportunity in Riot, because this is kind of that same line right over here, and then this is kind of that other resistance here. But this is really the June resistance. So if you guys wanted to long Bitcoin, I think this is a pretty interesting opportunity. Could take some positions here, or ideally, if we get an opportunity at $3.02, maybe on ER, if it drops a little bit at 302, maybe I'll take an opportunity and shoot for that $6. So that's pretty good there. Let's look at some of the other stuff. So a lot of people were telling me they saw this other pattern, they were gonna see this pattern, but I think that's already over with. I think we're gonna get the W pattern, or at least that's what it's making it look like. So we'll finally see gold make the run too. I think with Bitcoin running so hard, because Bitcoin is kind of like internet gold, I think the real gold should also make a run back to the top here too as well. Because, you know, if people are worried about the market so much and they want to hedge the market, gold is definitely a pretty decent opportunity. I picked up some gold miners already when we're hitting down here. So we're just waiting for that long trend run. I feel like fundamentally it'll eventually run, because it only makes sense when they release the stimulus. Gold is definitely gonna go up because the dollar is gonna go down, and it's only a matter of time before they release the stimulus. So any dip on gold at these major areas are definitely buying opportunities. So this was definitely the major area around the 1850, 1860s. I jumped in a little bit early because I wasn't sure if we were gonna get it. And then the next area would be 1790s or 1700s. But definitely every drop would be a buying opportunity for gold, because eventually, sooner or later, they are gonna release the stimulus, the second big stimulus, and when that happens, we are like gonna run on gold. Silver is the same thing as gold. Copper too. Copper, I saw that I caught it a while back. It was lagging a little behind. It was behind gold and stuff. And copper still has a bigger opportunity to run, because gold had already beat his all-time high. Copper's all-time high is around here, $4.60. The only thing that's really holding copper back is because manufacturing hasn't gone back to full blown yet. But when everything's full blown and back, and all the mineral prices are going up, copper price is naturally gonna go up. So I posted a fundamental play for copper a few months back, maybe like a month or two back in my Patreon. And let me see if I can find it. So it's patreon.com/Wall Street. It was it was over here, September 28th. Buy these COVID related stocks when the market drops. So if you guys want to check it out, it's $3 a month just to see some of the fundamental plays. And I'll post them every once in a while. I'll try to post at least one every month that I see that's a good fundamental long-term play that makes sense. So we see some bonds rejection here. So bonds was running up and now is rejected. So if bonds are going down, that means they think the market is going up. These are just some other commodities. So in regards to the XLF, slash bank sector. This is something interesting here. So we're seeing some resistance here for Goldman Sachs. It could reject it here, or just keep going to this level, which is 212. So for some of those that missed the run up play, I think if you want to play for the run up for the bullish market, you might be able to pick up some calls around this area and see it come back to the resistance here, because we've been playing this resistance pretty well. It's been dropped down here, come back up here, so that's why I set the line here. But you could also try to play here, because the background just kind of turned green, so we could go bullish. If you're expecting market to go bullish and you're expecting market to kind of see an ER run on Co's, we could see it run back up to 23, 24 area before any further drop. Oh man, TTD, what a monster stock. We talked about this earlier this week, I think, and talked about it last Friday as well. I posted on the watch list in X-Trays, I think. Oh, I didn't post it on Twitter, but I posted on X-Trays that I thought TTD was going to beat the ER, even though everybody was saying that they didn't think it was going to beat, because TTD is an advertising platform. So, you know, everybody knows 2020, this is probably the biggest political run ever. And anytime there's a presidential campaign, all these political parties, they'll pay a lot of money to buy ads and things like that. So when you buy ads, the company that's going to benefit the most from that is TTD. You know, they make money from ad placements and all that stuff. They're behind all the analytics and things like that. You know, what ads to post and whatnot. And just a monster company, just been going up for years. Parabolic just kept going up, because advertising is like the biggest thing ever. If I'm surprised nobody have ever like wrote a conspiracy theory on advertising, because advertising is probably something that's responsible for a lot of the manipulation in the world. Like if you watch the Netflix series, Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, that kind of gives you a little bit like intro into why advertising is so crazy. Or if you watch like Mad Men, or if you're a marketing major or advertising major, you understand that marketing is one of the biggest things to anything being successful or anything happening. Like a lot of the presidential, you know, concepts are based on marketing. So this is a pretty crazy stock. It's another possible good reversal play here. You know, held this trend line really well. The yellow line bounced off. So we could see 270s possibly if market continues to be bullish. That was an MTB. It's a Mongo database. Roku too, another big one. I called it out earlier this week. You know, being that there's really only two kind of hit this line perfectly too and bounced off. Every time it hits this line lately, it's been bouncing off. So that's it right there, and that's it right there. Perfect bounce. So as of right now, Roku has been going pretty crazy, because there's only two companies in the market really. It's only Amazon TV and Roku. They got it into the operating system of TVs, and there's only two operating system for TVs really. You know, you either go with Roku or you go with Amazon Fire Sticks, and Roku's been doing a pretty good job dominating. You know, they're less biased as opposed to Amazon TV, where Amazon is a little bit more competitive. So a lot of companies are more likely to go with Roku instead of Amazon, because they're not competing in terms of a streaming service as well. Like where Amazon has a subscription and they don't. Oof. Interested to see how the CGCER plays on Monday. But that's pretty much it, guys, for this weekend. I'm probably going to review some more stocks after this, but hope you guys have a good weekend, and thanks for hanging out, and take care. I'm going to end the stream here.